I'm living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with no bot. Man, it's your boy, Young Don, Young Don, Young Don. And I'm back with another video, family. And this video is very, very important. This video we're going to be talking about signs. How do you know you are having a spiritual awakening, and what can you do? Okay, one of the biggest signs that I went through of my spiritual awakening was I started to question every single thing that I heard. Anything, whether it was on the news, anything. It was even small things. Like, I would just question. I would be like, damn, why is that person walking like that? Why does that cloud look like that? Damn, what's really going on in this news? Damn, what is this president really about? I started to question every single thing because I started to notice that everything that I was taught was a lie. Everything. I started to question family. Started to question my sanity because I didn't know I was crazy. Everybody around me was looking at me like I was crazy. And at a point, I started to believe them. But then I had to realize that I was not crazy. It was just when somebody sees something that they're not used to, when somebody sees something that they don't know, of course they're gonna look at it like they're crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you see a quote-unquote alien walk across your street right now, you've never seen him before, you've never seen nothing like that, you're gonna be like, damn, what is that? You'll be like, damn, what is that? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people were just looking at me differently. A lot of people didn't know what I was doing, didn't know what it was all about. Most people might think you're on drugs because you finally see everything for what it really is. You're gonna see the truth for what the truth is. You're not gonna be programmed. You're gonna detach yourself away from everything. Another sign that you're having a spiritual awakening, watch your numbers. I had a link pop up right here about angel numbers so you can learn them. You might start seeing synchronicities of numbers, whether it's 222, 333, 444, 1111, 555. Pay attention to those numbers because each of those numbers have meaning. I dropped a video on part 1 about those. I'm about to drop part 2 very soon. But I have a video about angel numbers so you can simply understand what your angels are sending you. What messages are they sending you? What are they trying to tell you? Are they trying to tell you that they got your back? Are they trying to tell you to watch out for this, watch out for that? You got to make sure that you know what's being told so you can go down this journey of life comfortably. Okay? Also, you're going to see changes in your behavior. You're not going to want to talk to a lot of people. You're going to become isolated. Well, I know I did. I became so isolated from everybody because I started to realize the importance of keeping my energy safe, and I realized what energy was. At first I didn't understand a lot of things, but once I started to get more into it, everything started to become more known. It was like everything was already here within. I just had to find it. I just had to remember it. And that's the thing. If you have to be taught something in life, it's simply a lie. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you already need to know is already inside of you. Everything you already need to know, you already know. You just have to go through this journey of life to remember it. That's what life is all about. Take you through all these obstacles, take you through all these trials and tribulations so you can remember who you really are. So once you reach that point in life, you're ready to become abundant. You're ready to become that dream person, the better version of you. You're ready because you started early. You remember what's all inside. Okay, another thing that happened during my spiritual journey, I went vegan. I don't know, you might start changing your eating habits. You might realize that eating all these animals is not really healthy for you. But I'm not saying you have to go vegan because it's not a must. But once you start to realize the consciousness of the animal and how that energy flows from the animal through you after it's killed, you start to realize, like, damn, okay, so that's why I was always tired after I ate. Okay, that's why I was always nervous. That's why I was always sad. You have to realize after you eat, food is energy. Food is supposed to give you energy. Food is not supposed to get you tired. That's why fruits and vegetables all help you to get more energy. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't realize, like, damn, okay, so that's why all the healthy food is so expensive. That's why all the junk food is so cheap, because they want you to eat more of that. They know that it's killing you. You gotta realize that. So once you go through the realization that they're trying to kill us, you're gonna realize that that certain group, that certain the elite, whatever you want to call them, Illuminati, whatever, they are really trying to kill us. They don't care about us. no matter what. And they might push all these things to make them think that they got our back or whatever. They don't. They don't care about us. They care about themselves, and all they're worried about is surviving. And they survive off of negative energy, low energy, and anger. So if we're pushing that out, we're helping them to survive. But you see the evil they're doing in the world, so it's like you realize that you don't want to push that out no more. You realize you don't want to put that negative energy out any longer. So once you start to change your behavior, you're going to see it, and a lot of people around you are going to see it as well. They're going to be like, damn, they're going to question themselves like, what is so different about him? They're going to be subconsciously drawn toward you more. A lot of us chosen ones that have an awakening, we're always the ones that a lot of people can go to for advice. A lot of people can ask questions to, because we always have the right answers. We always have the right things to say, because we are the chosen ones. You gotta realize that not many people are like us. So once you see that change in your behavior, a lot of people are gonna see it as well. And once they see it, they're gonna start to question it. Like, okay, so what are you doing differently? What are you doing differently? And it's gonna be exciting, especially in your journey, because you're gonna start learning a lot of more things. And you're gonna wanna share those things. But what you have to realize is, a lot of people aren't ready for that information. So everybody's not going to listen to you like I would listen to you. Everybody's not going to talk to you about certain things like I would talk to you. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to make a channel, so you can find those people that hear you out. Or you can just DM me on Instagram. It's always in the description. But yeah, and I had to realize that scolding a lot of people on my journey, especially in the beginning where I was so excited, I was in the midst of just learning. I had to learn to not scold and stop scolding everybody. You know, like we always get excited about things we learn and we want to tell somebody, especially family, because that's who's close to us. I had to realize that everybody's not trying to hear that. Everybody's gonna, and it's like they don't even have to call you crazy. A lot of people don't call me crazy, but I can feel it. I can feel the tension. I can see it in their face. Like they're like, what is this nigga talking about? They're not ready for what I have to offer. They're not ready for what I have to tell. And it hurts my feelings sometimes, but I had to realize not everybody wants to hear that. So remember that on your journey, that not everybody wants to hear what you gotta say. You can drop a little bit of gems here and there, and if they bite onto it, yeah. But if they don't, just leave it alone and just lead by example. Lead them by example by showing them that you are a changed person for the better, and you didn't have to do much except go within and look inside of you. And another part of the spiritual journey is, I remember for me, I think I've had 2 awakenings. So I had one in 2019 and then one in 2020. And the one in 2019, it was amazing because it was my first awakening. So you know, everything first is always good or bad. But for me, it was pretty good because I finally got to learn more about myself. I learned a lot about myself, things that I didn't know. I really had to face who I really was, because a lot of us hide, and a lot of us were scared to face the reality of who we really are. Sometimes we block that out through everyday life with distractions, so we don't have to face who we are. Some of us don't even look at the mirror, but once you start to look in the mirror and realize who you really are, to get to know who you are, because you gotta realize you must love yourself more than you love anything. No. So once I went through that stage, I finally found love. I didn't conquer it, I didn't master it yet. I mastered it later in 2020, right now, where I'm at. But I found it. And I'm not gonna lie, during my first spiritual awakening, I went through a spiritual high and I went back low. Spiritual high and I went back low. It was a roller coaster. It was like I still had that old personality and them old habits stuck with me. It was like I was coming with a new identity that I didn't really get to conquer yet until 2020. So I went through a period of time where I had that spiritual high and I went back low, and I was low for a minute. I still had spiritual tendencies. I was still meditate here and there, but it wasn't like I do now every day. So once I got into the vibe of realizing that it's time to change now, that's when I was in Florida. Because in the beginning of me being in Florida, I was just low vibrational. I just was having fun, partying with my friends, just chilling. But once I realized that this is not the lifestyle, this lifestyle does not make me happy anymore, I realized what really made me happy, which was motivation from peace and just meditation. just being out in nature, learning more, reading more books, realizing that I want to become the better version of myself now, and I made that shift right away. A lot of people didn't agree with it. A lot of people are not going to agree with a lot of decisions that you have. You have to realize, but what you have to do is take away that people pleaser mentality. That's what I had. I was a big people pleaser. I always thought that I got to do something to get the validation from others, because that's how I was raised. I had to do the shadow work to realize I was raised by strict people. My grandmother and my aunt, they were strict, and I felt like as a youngin that I had to people please them to get that certain type of validation, or get that love, or get that freedom, or get that reward by pleasing. So as I grew up, I kept that quality. And once I grew up, once I moved to Florida, I felt as if, oh, I gotta stay because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by leaving. I don't know how they're gonna react. I don't want them to get mad. But I had to realize this is my journey, and to help me to raise my vibrations, I had to realize even though I was meditating every day, even though I was eating healthy, even though I was reading every day, even though I was taking care of myself, I had to realize even though I was raising those vibrations, me being in that environment, I would raise it and I would go back down a little. I would raise it, I would go back down a little. So even though I was raising my vibrations, it was still lowering because of my environment. And you got to cut that people pleasing mentality out if you want to succeed on this journey. You got to realize this is your life, this is your journey, and you have to do what's best for you. Everybody's not going to be there in your life. Yeah, they're there for you to teach you something. Everything that happens in reality is a reflection of you and what you have to do and what you have to learn. So learn from it, but make sure you act on it for you, not because somebody else wants you to do it. Do it for you. And I promise you're going to become more confident about yourself. You're going to love yourself way more. And I got to a point where I'm living peacefully. I'm living happy. Like there's nothing that can take my joy, nothing that can take my happiness, because I'm not letting it. I'm not letting no one take my joy, nothing. It's can't go. But yeah, family, so that's a couple of signs that you're going through a spiritual awakening. You're going to start questioning everything for what it really is. You're going to look at people for what they really are. You're going to be able to see through a lot of people's masks. You're going to know who you're talking to. Another thing is you're going to probably, your intuition is going to become stronger, and your psychic abilities are going to be way stronger. You're going to speak people up. So you might be talking about people and they'll pull up. You might be talking about people and they'll call. You might be thinking about somebody and they'll message you. You're going to see a lot of different things happen in your life, especially if you're on semen retention, my fellas. Especially when you hold that God-given force of quote-unquote nut. That's your power. That's your energy. When you give it away, you're wasting it, even unless you're putting it toward a baby. But if you're just wasting it on waste, that's why I tell you guys, I'm going to put that video up as well, how to stop watching porn, what to do when you relapse. I want you guys to be strong, because that nut, that is your manifesting ability. That's going to help you to keep going on this journey with energy. That's your energy, that's your Gatorade. But yeah family, that's a couple of signs that you are having a spiritual awakening. So keep going strong on your journey, family. I'm here with you. I promise you I'm with you. No, I can't give up on you, so please don't give up on yourself. I love each one of you guys. Love and more love. Namaste.